Before the gold rush, the matriarchs were the boss. The community came before any individual. Community had a spirit. Our elders and our ancestors fed that spirit and they nurtured it. One of the things that our ancestors knew in the way they lived was not only did the community have a spirit, all of creation had a spirit. Every drop of water, every leaf on every tree, every moose, every mouse, every mosquito, every human being.
My name's Blair Hogan. I'm with Gunta Business. We have been brought here in Carcross to help with the comprehensive community plan, which is focused with Carcross, but is looking at the whole traditional territory of the CTFN, which brings in Marsh Lake, Mount Lorne, Tagish, and the community of Carcross. 160 communities are currently doing this process that we're doing here, but because we're the only self-government of those 160 communities, this is almost a pilot within a pilot. We're going to be creating a process that will hopefully become a standard process for other communities with self-government agreements that are looking to accomplish the same goal.
We've been working on the comprehensive community plan for a while as a steering committee, and this is the first night that we're going to get together and talk as a community moving forward with how we want the comprehensive plan to look and what direction we want to move with the comprehensive community plan. There's a fire feast tonight, so we're going to get all of the community together with a nice dinner, and they're going to cook it up on the fire pit on open fire, some of it, and serve it all up for everybody to sort of get in a conversational mood so that we can move about the room later and have that conversation. And how do we want to have everybody communicate and get to that place so we can start to implement some of these ideas that have been milling about for years, if not decades, and to sort of prioritize through this process so we can decide which ones we want to do going into the future.
If you add up all the numbers in Carcross, Tagish, Marsh Lake, Mount Lorne, you get a population base that's among the largest in the Yukon, outside of the city of Whitehorse. So you could see that a regional planning exercise has a great deal of merit. It gives the people living in those areas a direct say on how their communities are going to evolve.
A comprehensive community plan elsewhere is basically a local advisory plan for a non-self-governing person.
So the steering committee is really the body that gives us direction when we create the plan.
There's approximately 4 CTFN steering committee members. They all have their appropriate alternates, and then we have 4 LAC members. So it's a fairly balanced steering committee.
In any plan, we're working to develop a vision. That vision needs to be interpreted. The strategy needs to be prioritized. Again, we'll have more to do than people can do, so we need to put that in a certain order. The steering committee provides us that direction through consensus. This steering committee represents the 4 local area committees that are participating in the development of the plan, and Carcross Tagish First Nation and the Carcross Tagish Management Commission.
One thing that we all have in common is wildlife, right? And poaching and issues around wildlife, things like that. So
mining issues.
Yeah. So those commonalities between all the communities would be good to know.
Housing is an issue in the Southern Lakes area, not only for Carcross, but for Mount Lorne and Marsh Lake. People need more land as we grow. And so how can we take an issue like that just doesn't seem to move and collectively have it benefit us? So how do we together advance this need to the government? And what's exciting is that it seems like together we could do that more effectively than our individual silos.
I'm Benita Ritchie. I'm co-chair of the Tagish Local Advisory Council, As a member of the council, I am representing Tagish on the Carcross Comprehensive Community Plan Committee. It's been very positive. It's a way of hearing about other concerns on the other communities, the other LACs. There's 4 of us that share the Southern Lakes, and Tagish is the smallest, and to me, it's identified many issues that are common to all of us, and it gives us a greater voice.
We're wondering if people think it's a good idea for CTFN to work more closely with advisory committees.
Ayachwe, Atutech, Wushinch Katutnik, Katucha, Yituwasagu, Yanyakuk.
Ikera, Yitsugu, Yigartusani, Konastish, Konastish.
What stands out for me is our historical connection to the land through our teachings that the elders have preserved throughout the test of the last 116 years.
I live in Marsh Lake, and it's a community about 45 minutes south of Whitehorse, and I work in Whitehorse, but I love being outside of that big city bustle. I like harvesting and kayaking and just being close to nature.
So if you're wondering, yes, these are the salmon we're going to eat tonight. These salmon came out of Taku River yesterday, and they're in Carcross and Tassahini today.
My dream is the people's dream. Self-sufficiency, food security, energy security, successful business, secure, safe families.
We're planning an elder youth retreat. This process will bring together these very unique but very important stakeholder groups to get their vision, to get their values.
Okay, quiet on set.
Sound.
Rolling.
Camera.
Rolling.
Rolling.
Action. I'm the matriarch of the Deshiton, which means I'm the eldest. In a couple of months, I'll be 91 years old. I would like to see kids your age all starting to learn how to speak the language.
I guess the land, the area that I grew up in, it's just like part of me.
I've been walking around here for 72 years now, and I wouldn't want to go anyplace else in the world.
The idea behind this weekend is to bridge communication between elder and youth. Overall, I think everyone's going to be really impressed with what the kids contributed, and number one, what the elders contributed, and the dialogue that we got in regards to the betterment of the community and the vision forward in preserving some of the cultural identity, the practices, the customs but also amalgamating that with this ever-changing and new world. You know, there's modern issues, and there's modern issues with the youth that they're dealing with that the elders never had to deal with.
Action.
I'm very excited to be allowed to participate in the community plan. I have things that for 30 years I've wanted to happen along the Carcross Road, and what I realize is that if we can make it into a community where everyone is participating with everyone else, it's just incredibly advantageous for community, for friendship, for teaching each other, for learning from each other.
I mean, I really think this project and this process has been unique in the way that it's bringing different communities, different cultures, different people together to plan for a region. And what we're hoping is that in a region where there's lots of studies and lots of work that gets done and then shelved, that this new way of working together can catalyze action that we haven't really seen before and mobilize change in a way that we haven't really seen before. So it's pretty exciting work, even though it can be challenging because it's so new.
We're making groundbreaking history in my mind. As a community, 5 different communities within the Southern Lakes area coming together to voice improvement in our community and working together as one. Not trying to work as separate entities, but we're working as a family.
We've covered a lot of ground. What I wanted to do was take a moment to acknowledge that. I mean, we've done so much. Even I hadn't really realized what we covered off until I put this presentation together. This is basically what we're trying to do over the next 2 days, and that's not easy. We proposed these 5 pillars: governance, education, wellness, development, and resilience, all from a community perspective.
Each pillar has a focus on what changes you want to make and see within your community. No community can move on without a plan. This retreat here today and the past meetings that we had will continue on, and I think we're just going to grow stronger. It's like anything else. As you get to know the people you're working with and have views with and stuff, you get stronger and you mold together more.
We're gonna have 3 tables, all 5 pillars will be represented at these tables. We are going to identify 3 priority actions for each one. It's their familiarity with the government bureaucracy that's a benefit to us.
People have been planning for some time. They have been discussing the issues, the concerns, things that need to get done but can't seem to get done because there's no vehicle in which to do it. So it's deciding how we move forward together to address issues that are all shared by all or the majority. And so the CCP will do that. And the beauty of it is that everyone that needs to champion the CCP in the end is at the table creating the CCP. So this CCP is for them entirely. It wouldn't apply to anyone else or any other community. It just couldn't.
Today was really about taking all of the data we've heard from everyone in the community, all the survey results, all of the interview results, bring that together to this small group of people to then synthesize that down into a clear vision of where we're trying to go and some clear action steps in terms of how to get there.
People are very visual in their thinking. A lot of people are very visual in their thinking. And a lot of times when we're just talking, the words just kind of evaporate into the ether. And even when you have a regular facilitator just sort of scribing stuff on a flip chart, the flip charts get flipped and flipped and flipped. And by the end of the day, who knows, where anything is, where the ideas are. And they are in no relationship to each other. When I create a chart like this, you can actually see the map of the journey. You can see how the things that people are talking about relate to each other. You can remember it viscerally, and also because it's pictures, it has an emotional content. So you can actually remember how you felt. Here, they can actually see themselves in the process. They can see, oh, here's what I was standing here, I said this, I remember this. So this one was specifically created as a document, as a process map, as a document of these 2 days. So why not actually insert the people right into it?
Creating a best practice of how to comprehensively plan versus just developing a plan. There's a lot of plans out there, there's a lot of planning initiatives out there. We're trying to break down those barriers and try to find a common way, a common approach, so that all stakeholder groups, all community members, everybody in this vicinity has a way of having a voice, a way of being involved in that process, and to see that they are not only living here, but they're a part of this community and they have a way of influencing the way that community develops and grows.